the podcast where we talk about movies, new and old, and we don't really care about spoiling them because it's the Spoilercast. So if you haven't seen the movie, be prepared for spoilers. And my name is Tobias. I'm the one who started all this, and with me is my sister and trusty co-host Rebecca. Hello. We've never done this. Do you want to plug like your Twitter or Instagram or something? Okay. I don't. That's true. Yeah. I mean, you do some stuff on Instagram, I suppose. Oh, okay. But yeah, you have a cat Instagram. Anyway. all right. And also want to say to everyone listening, if you are listening to this, you're listening to this hopefully on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you're listening to podcasts. So be sure to hit the like, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Give us a like. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you really want to support this show, there is a Patreon link, or you just go to patreon.com/ please don't make a scene, and you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. But if you support us at the $3 level, you will get a exclusive episode of the podcast every week that only you can hear, well, and everyone else donating $3 or more. And on the $10 level, you get occasional exclusive videos, bigger projects that I can't put out on YouTube. That sounds weird, but it's not weird. It's just, Anyway. No, copyright stuff maybe, or some whatever I feel like putting on or we feel like putting on Patreon. Yes, which we need to bring up. And that is on the $3 level. I mean, I guess on the $1 level as well, if you wanna. You can actually request movies that we talk about here on the Spoilercast. And I asked late last month for some suggestions, and we actually got one from one of our $10 Patreons, Laura Kinney. So thank you, Laura, for that. Thank you for your suggestion. Thank you for donating, of course. And she suggested Pi, the directorial debut, I guess featured debut, I should say, of Darren Aronofsky. So we're going to talk about Pi and probably a little bit more about Darren Aronofsky. Yeah, so that's what's going to happen in this episode. So strap yourselves in for some 16mm black and white, super contrasty, weird movie about math and an annoying soundtrack. Little spoiler for my opinion on the movie there. But let's start like we always do. And let's start with me asking your opinion on the movie. Well, first, had you seen the movie before? Okay. I'd heard of it, but I hadn't seen it. I took a look at his IMDb, and I realized I have seen every other movie he has directed, except for this one. So, that was fitting.
And I think I've seen, 4?
Right, which one had you seen? You've seen Black Swan, of course.
I've seen Black Swan. I've seen...
Did you see Noah?
I've seen Noah.
Right.
I think I've seen the Fountain.
You probably have, because I'm spoilers for the further down this podcast. I really like the Fountain. So
yeah,
I've probably shown you the Fountain.
And maybe the Fighter. I'm not sure.
He didn't do the Fighter. He did the Wrestler.
Oh.
He produced the Fighter, I think.
Oh wait, shit. Yeah, I was on the wrong thingy. The Wrestler. Did I see the Wrestler? Which one was that?
There's the one Mickey Rourke plays
I've seen parts of that one.
washed up wrestler. It's so good. Right. Well, then you've
I've
almost seen all of them.
Some of them.
Because he hasn't directed that many movies, so you've seen almost all of them. But let's talk about Pi. So let's go back to the question. What did you think of Pi?
Not my kind of movie.
Okay.
And to be honest, it almost gave me an anxiety attack towards the end.
Well, I think that's kind of
I
the
kind of
point.
freaked out.
I think that's
Maybe, but
part of it, yeah. Right? But
yeah.
was there anything you liked about it?
I mean, the acting was fine, but that's about it. I
Right.
guess if I had understood the story more, then maybe I would have liked it better. But to be honest, the story went kind of over my head.
Yeah, it starts out very convoluted.
I get
Um,
some parts of it. Like, okay, he's trying to find a pattern, specifically a pattern in the number pi. The number pi? In pi? I don't know how you even preface that word. Like, is it it's a
pi,
number, right?
yeah, pi is a number. Yeah,
Yeah, it is number
it's
pi.
3.14 and then a bunch of other numbers, but
Yeah,
3.14.
that's the main bit.
Yeah,
And he goes crazy trying to find it, I guess.
yeah.
That's
Um,
about all I understood.
well, honestly, there isn't much to understand. I thought so as well, like because it's so convoluted what he's doing, and everyone's just asking for him all the time, and like, oh, we. The company wants his information. The church wants his information. He wants the information that's in his head. Um, but honestly, I mean, in the end, it isn't that convoluted. It's pretty simple, actually. I'm not like it's actually pretty. It's not even that. I mean, it's just the. This is the thing with Darren Aronofsky that I've discovered. I like his movies, but he is a bit pretentious at times.
No
Sometimes,
shit.
sometimes very pretentious. Mother is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. When it comes to that, it is just pretentious. It has nothing new to say. It is just pretentious, and this is definitely has that like young edgy filmmaker feel. Like it's black and white, probably because it's cheaper since it was made on film. But I'm sure he was like, "Oh yeah, it's black and white, baby."
Yeah, he liked it.
Yeah, he liked it. It was just a happy accident or what I want to call it. Um, and he really wants to like mess with your head and like make you ask the big questions, but he doesn't really have the he's never really had the capability to really go all the way and like make you go like, so if start questioning things like beyond the movie. And this is kind of the same thing because ultimately what everyone's looking for is the 216 decimals of pi,
Yeah.
because the church, the I don't know if they call it the church. It's a Jewish church, whatever.
It's a synagogue, but I don't know how
Synagogue, right?
what they
Sorry,
call the
synagogue. Yeah,
whatever. The group? I don't know what you call the group, to be honest.
the group,
You
the
will
Jews.
yeah, I guess.
They
I guess we can say the
they're a
Jews.
religion. The Jews, yeah.
Yeah.
The Jewish priests and that. What was his name? Manny, Lenny,
Lenny, I think.
Benny. I don't remember. The guy with the hat.
Lenny Mayer.
Yeah, they won it because the real name for God has 216 letters.
Yeah.
So, and they go into this whole thing about the Torah, their Bible, sort of.
Their holy book.
Yeah, their holy book. Yeah, being that you can like break it down into numbers, which I think is a real thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, so it's really, and then you have of course the company that wants the numbers because they realize that the numbers in his head are able to predict the stock market or like influence the stock market, which we never really see. They hint at it, but it's never really shown that he's actually like able to use it to his advantage. Like he found out that the numbers predicted this, but he never does anything with it.
No.
And then of course there is the metaphor of flying too close to the sun, which is just in the beginning when he plays that game Go with Mark Margolis. I don't remember the character. Soul, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, have you seen my new fish? I call him Icarus."
After you, I
after
think. Is what...
you, because Icarus flew too close to the sun, and the whole thing with Soul being doing like the same stuff that what's his name? The main guy,
Max.
Max. Sorry.
Pi. It's not Life of Pi.
Yeah, no. They were researching the same thing. They wanted to find the next step in the next decimals in the pi equation, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, they wanted to find the pattern in the pi equation.
Yeah, the pattern. Yeah, exactly. And he stopped because he realized that there's more to life than math.
And he got like a stroke or something.
He got a stroke
From the stress, basically.
Yeah. So Soul is basically an older Max that almost got to where he found the numbers or found the pattern, but then he got a stroke because he flew too close to the sun, since the pattern they're looking for is literally God.
It's the name of God. You're not allowed to know it unless you are pure.
Yeah, and like they talk about the priest with the long beard. He talks about if you say the proper name of God, you will bring
you'll bring us one day closer to Eden, to
to
Revelation, I guess.
Yeah, like paradise, basically.
Yeah.
So it's
unless you are unpure, then you will kill us all.
Yeah, of course, and that's why Soul, because no one is pure.
No one is pure.
There's always just a little thing. Oh, you stole a bubble gum. Well, you're unpure. It can be anything.
You stepped on an ant.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of ants stepping in this movie. So you have that. It's the fool's quest for glory.
Yeah,
that's what the movie's about. Soul failed because he got too close, but he was unpure. That's why he had a second stroke when he started doing the math again and died. Max suffers from cluster headaches after looking straight into the sun.
Yeah, because that's
seeing a pattern,
about, right?
Yeah,
he got all these weird headaches and noises and nosebleeds from looking into the sun.
Yeah, which is it doesn't make sense. I've looked into the sun. It hurts your eyes, but you don't go blind.
Yeah, but he looked beyond the pain.
Exactly.
So he kept going when others would look away.
Exactly, and he suffers from it.
But he saw God, apparently.
Yeah, he probably saw God, and that's why he has the numbers in his head.
Yeah.
And the same thing, the corporation, whatever they're called, they want to control the fickle fairy dust that is the stock market.
Yeah.
Believe me, I'm on it. It's terrible. So that's basically what it's all about, and him slowly going crazy because he's getting too close. I mean, and there's these constant. I'm just realizing this now. It's good that I watched it earlier today, so I have had some time to think about it. There's several scenes that ends with him like a big flashing light moving towards him, like when
like the sun or the end of the tunnel kind of thing.
Exactly. And often in his dreams, like when he's poking at his brain, the train comes towards him. Or when he's trying to figure out the numbers just keeps growing and coming towards him, and he wakes up. That's him. It's him. He's getting closer, but he's getting too close, and that's why it ends with him drilling a hole in his head. And then the ending is kind of wishy-washy. It's either like, he lobotomized himself, or because he says when the little kid asks him to make an equation, he goes,
I don't know.
Which in the beginning he just answered like that, but in the end he just smiles and says, I don't know. So then
I don't know if it's like he took the ability away from himself, or he just let out some pressure and managed to get a hold of himself in general and just became more at peace.
Yeah, exactly. It's we don't really find out, and that's a little like.
I mean, we don't really need to find out either. But
since the movie wants to be so damn cryptic, it's like, you could have, it had to have some sort of resolution, and it's just like, he's fine now. No one's looking for him anymore.
That he's like, I'm finally free, as if he chose to release the pressure, or make him go just blank, going like, "Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
can't do anything anymore." Make
exactly.
it more extreme what it is he actually did. You don't have to tell us, but like show it.
Yes. Um, so that's the movie in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's and that's it's kind of a bad sign when I can figure out a movie that's supposed to be like cryptic, because I think we mentioned that before. I'm really
Yeah.
bad at like figuring movies out, at least right after I've seen them. There is of course the one example of me figuring out The Village like
Oh
halfway
yeah.
through the movie, but that's about it. That's my glorious like, hey, I got this.
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I mean I
But
did like
otherwise, I really have to. I have to ponder and maybe even look up some other people's ideas to like get a movie like this. But this
yeah.
one, I got it.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, yeah, I do like one thing about it. I do like the attention to detail within this quest, I guess. Cuz the golden spiral and all that, the golden square and whatever they called it, that's
uh,
all real things that they actually
oh
used
yeah,
and they explained it very well.
yeah, definitely.
And same with the God's name thing. There is a whole thing behind it. There is a truth behind it, and
Yeah.
people have studied it.
So that's that. Yeah,
So that
that's interesting.
yeah, it's nice that they actually used it properly as well, not just like making it more fantastical than what it is.
Sure, yeah,
I mean, some of it is a bit fantastical, but they didn't make it overtly fantastical and almost sci-fi. It's
yeah.
speaking quite close to the truth.
But then it's also, I don't know how old he was when he made this. I think he was like 30 or 28 or something. But the whole Fibonacci sequence is everywhere in nature. It's kind of like, I mean, you learn about that. At least I did. I learned about that in elementary school.
I don't think I did.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
I've
it
heard
was.
about it later in life, like
Oh, okay.
on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Because that's the only thing, like, because it's a big part of the movie that he like figures out that there is this pattern all over nature. There is this the golden circle or whatever, it's golden spiral.
Spiral, yeah.
Um, and like that's fine, but people already kind of know. Okay, I guess people know about that, so you need to push that a little further and like go somewhere with that, not just make that your premise of the movie, that this super genius realizes that the Fibonacci sequence is everywhere in nature. It's like, yeah, didn't he know that already? There need to be a little more. And there is the part with God and everything, but it's not enough.
No.
It wants to be more clever than it is, I think.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just, an observation.
Maybe it could have been if they hadn't put so much time and effort into making everything so erratic, in
Yeah.
lack of better words. I don't know how to explain it. Just so, like, it's not really focused. It
No.
feels like we're literally inside of Max's head with all the shit we don't really grasp.
But I think that is also part of the experience, like, so we can understand how he feels. And those are the most powerful scenes, I think, when he gets the headaches and he starts like,
Yeah,
screaming numbers,
sure.
and like those are the scenes that affected me at least the most. So I do appreciate that, but yeah, it gets a little annoying.
Hmm.
His style, he hasn't really kept that style. But this like quick paced erratic style, it's here in Pi. It's definitely in his next movie, Requiem for a Dream. But it's tone. Have you seen that one?
I've seen bits of it at
The one
least.
about the heroin junkies.
I've
With
seen bits of it,
Jared Leto.
probably.
Okay, yeah. But there's definitely the whole thing where when he pops his pills, there's always like every time he takes
Yeah,
his pills, and there's the same thing when they take drugs in
right,
Requiem for
yeah.
a Dream. But then he kind of lost that, and I guess it was kind of back in Mother a little bit.
Okay.
But other than that, his movies are much more like um, not slow pace, but they're more chill, sort of.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to remember the style of like Noah, because I remember the style of Black Swan.
yeah,
It's definitely slower.
it's slow, yeah, but it has similarities.
It does.
You can
Sure, with
definitely,
the details of the like when the gory details of the like the hangnail and pulling the feathers and stuff like that, it has the
yeah,
same sort of close up gore.
yeah,
Like
and
because the pill popping in this one is sort of gorish the way they close up on it.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then just people walking around New York at night, and
Yeah.
especially walking. I think it's in Black Swan and it's in here. I think it's in Requiem for a Dream as well. Um, but people walking under like construction. What do you call it?
Scaffolding.
Scaffolding, yeah, exactly. Walking under construction scaffolding and like seeing something
Yeah.
mysterious.
Like in the corner
But
of their eye, feeling
yeah,
like they're watched or stalked.
Black Swan, she sees herself, she thinks, but
Yeah,
it's someone
that's true.
else. And here he's being followed by people. It's very similar like that, which is it's just
Mm.
fun. To see that he has a style that he kind of sticks to. That was interesting to see that it was already there in his first movie.
That's why
Um,
I'm trying to remember what Noah was like, because
Noah
I can't
was very
picture that one
different.
being similar
No,
at
it
all.
was very different. I mean, there is. I haven't seen that since I've seen it once in the
Yeah, when
cinemas
we saw it
in
in cinemas, that's
what
about it.
2014 or something.
Yeah, because we saw it around premieres, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah.
2014.
And I guess there's probably like, oh, well, the violence in the movie. I remember the violence is pretty violent. I guess that,
True.
and there's probably some handheld stuff. I know towards the end there's a lot of handheld stuff when Noah is like a drunkard,
Right.
and it's kind of up close and stuff. But other than that, it's a very different movie. So
Yeah.
you have to change your style a little bit,
Yeah.
of course. Um, but that's another thing. Speaking of his movies being like, yeah, we get it. His movies are kind of that because Black Swan. I know you were very young when that movie came out, so maybe
I
you
was.
didn't get it fully. But I was 20, so it was the same thing. Like, yeah, we get it. She's like, she's obsessed with being like perfect so much that she like disassociates. That's what she creates, the Black Swan, this unfeeling, inhuman character that is perfect at dancing, but slowly destroys her. I mean, she literally kills herself in the end, but it's the Black Swan that does it. Like, we
Right.
get it, we
Yeah.
get it. And then Mother is literally the retelling of the Bible.
Oh,
Literally.
is he religious?
I don't know. I haven't listened to a lot of interviews with him, other than like about his filmmaking. But I don't know.
Because
Yeah, that is also,
considering all the themes of his movies,
yeah.
he
There's
seems
a lot of
very
religion in it. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe he's not religious, but he has to be fascinated by it
Yes,
somehow.
it's something he ponders, which is interesting, of course. Um, and he does some interesting stuff with it sometimes. Like, it's pretty interesting here, but like I said, in Mother, it's just like, ugh, yeah, okay, we get it. That movie got pretty good reviews, which I do not understand. I mean, sure, it's well made and it's cool the way that it's made, like in a physical way, but I mean, it, it's almost like it's like an art house Transformers movie. It's just, ooh, look at all the cool stuff we've done, but there's no substance to it.
Okay, well, that is also a bit what this one was,
Yeah, a little bit,
Pie, and a little bit what Black Swan is as well.
a little
It's
bit.
a lot of trying to look,
Trying to be
yeah,
deep,
trying to be deep, but maybe
not
going too far.
yeah, not really being as deep as he wanted to.
Yeah, going too far on the like just looking deep and not actually being deep.
Yeah, yeah. And and then when he like try when he doesn't try that hard with a movie like The Wrestler, when it's very like scaled down, because that movie has none of that. I mean, there there is of course a little bit of that, but it's just a like a character study of this washed up like 50-year-old guy who like never got anywhere in his career as a wrestler, and like is like struggling still, trying to be a wrestler in his 50s and breaking down his body and all that.
Yeah.
That is one of the more like impactful movies he's made. It's probably the not the best movie he's made, but it's definitely the one that feels the most genuine.
Because it's less
It's
pretentious.
less pretentious, and he like lets the character do the storytelling. He doesn't like try to cram it all down our throats. There's a little
Yeah.
bit of that, but that is just great.
Actually, I looked him up now really quick, and he did not grow up religiously. I mean, he is culturally Jewish, but not religiously.
Okay. So
And his parents were teachers.
he's not practicing. It's like
No.
we are technically Christian because we're baptized, but we
but
don't go to church.
we don't believe in it. We just celebrate
exactly.
Christmas
Yeah,
and
we celebrate
Easter.
Christmas. That's about it. Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that yeah, it's probably the same thing, but but I wonder why he's chosen like religion to be such a big part of his career. Then
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, we'll have to ask him.
How about we ask him? Yes.
You want to call him up? Tweet him something.
I think I actually did add him in the tweet about this podcast. Maybe he sees it. So maybe we shouldn't talk too much smack. We're just being honest.
Oh, come on. We're being honest. This is our opinion on this movie.
Exactly.
Well, some of his movies.
All of your movies.
Mostly.
Yeah, I mean, he made an entire movie about Noah. But I think...
Yeah.
I think that was just because there was like this... towards the middle of the 2010s, there was like a slew of religious epics being made. Do you remember Exodus?
Oh, yeah.
Movie about Moses, where Christian Bale played Moses.
Yeah.
And you had it doesn't really count, but you had Gods of Egypt, around the same time, like this, like with a lot of like religious symbolism from the Egyptian times, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And in the same time,
what
you had Noah.
4 other like Greek god movies came out that year.
Yeah, you had Clash of the Titans in 2010, Wrath of the Titans in 2012. You had Immortals in 2011. A lot of like religious stuff turned into like adventure movies.
Yeah.
And then you had Noah, which wasn't really an adventure movie, but it was an epic because it was big and it was expensive and
it was grandiose.
Yes, and it had the coolest angels ever though in the movie because they're like
I don't actually remember the angels.
They're like giant like stone trolls. I don't remember why, but it made sense the way they explained it in the movie. It was like it was supposed to be like what do you call it? Asteroids or the one land, right? Or that's meteorites.
I don't know.
An asteroid goes through space, and when it crashes on Earth, it's a meteorite. I think that's
probably yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds correct.
And that's like people mistook meteorites for angels, so angels are these rocky monsters. I don't know if that was the thing, but that was like what I thought back then, I think. Anyway.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Those? One of them was voiced by Nick Nolte because he sounds like he has gravel in his mouth when he talks. That's perfect.
Right.
Yeah. So Pie.
Yeah. Honestly, no, it's not my kind of movie. Like, the music was very annoying.
Yes, I did not like the music. I didn't think it fit like in one or
two
scenes.
In the beginning, it kind of felt okay, but then towards the end, when it was just too amped up, it's just too much.
Yeah,
way too much.
It just sounded like random.
It sounded like white noise almost, which is fine when you actually do white noise, but when you're making a song that sounds like white noise, it's not as impactful.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said before, I think I said that before. The first 40 minutes of the movie, which is basically half of the movie, because it's not super long. It's like an hour and 20 without credits. When I started watching yesterday, I fell asleep like 15 minutes in, but I did watch it directly after getting off work, so I'm usually pretty tired then. But still, and then I watched it properly today. And the first half hour just feels like setup, but it's way too much for a movie that is this short. It's just like, get on with it, go somewhere. And then the second
Yeah.
half does get more interesting. Like when he starts kind of figuring out the spiral. He starts actually looking into the pattern and not just sitting there and like, oh, personal note 1254. I looked into the
Press
sun and
enter.
blah 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 blah. Yeah, press
Yeah.
enter. Yeah, he starts actually like seeing patterns everywhere, which is something they should have used more in the movie. Like the movie should have been full of patterns, but it wasn't really. They were there sometimes. Like he kept running into whatever his name was, Benny,
Le-
Lenny,
no. Manny?
Manny.
Oh no, wait. No, Lenny Meyer,
It
sorry.
was Lenny. Yeah,
Yeah.
damn you. And the telephone constantly ringing. It could have
God.
been uh, like having more patterns like that, and him like realizing that he's basically stuck in a pattern,
Yeah.
something like that. But then it kind of happened, but not
But it didn't go,
really.
yeah, it didn't follow through with that part.
Yeah. And then the whole thing when they actually revealed to him like why they want the numbers when he's in the synagogue, like he's just like, oh, leave me alone, and runs away. Like, that would have been awesome. Help them
Yeah.
discover the name of God. That would have been cool.
Sure, give him the numbers. Like, what's gonna happen if you give
Yeah.
them the numbers? It's
But
not like they'll
guess-
hurt you for it.
I guess that's also part that he wanted for himself. He's greedy. He's flying
Yeah.
too close to the sun, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
But-
feel like it all works out. Not his character as well. Like, he's a paranoid recluse who's a mathematician who sits alone in his house with his technology, and he doesn't really do any calculation. All he does is press enter.
Yeah.
Like, and then he wants to keep the name of God for himself. Where's the connection there?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a weird, very scattered character.
Yes. So, like we said, it's wanting to be deeper than it actually is.
Yeah, it probably could have been if you like focused a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe leave out one of the things, like leave out the stock market. We don't. That
we don't-
thing was very
Yeah, you
unnecessary.
should have focused on the name of God, the whole the
Yeah.
religious aspect, like math and religion. Like
Yeah.
there's a connection. Like maybe religion, or like God is actually real, but he's just numbers. You know, like
Yeah.
math is God, because
That would have been more
ma-
interesting
math
than
is
having.
everywhere, just like God is everywhere. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
that would have been very interesting compared to having the stock market goons hunting him down, calling him every day. I'm like, come on, just shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like that. What they provided him with made any difference as well, or either. I mean, like that chip thingy that they gave him. I'm not sure what it was.
Ming Mecha chip or whatever.
Yeah.
It was called.
It had no purpose really.
Yeah. I don't remember what he did with it. He put it in his machine, and then nothing happened, and he
No, well, he
destroyed everything?
He repaired his computer, I think, with it by replacing his broken chip with that one.
Right.
I think, but then he tried to read the Jewish text that was translated into numbers, and he didn't get anything from it, so he destroyed that thing.
Oh, right. Right.
But like I mean, again, like the technology was just unnecessary. You added a room full of computers, or like one big ass computer, I guess, and
Yeah.
there were ants in the computer and like goo. Like what?
Yeah,
What?
I'm not sure what that was. What the symbolism was there.
The ants, maybe, crushing ants, no one is pure. Sure, we can give him that, but
Yeah, or maybe that's like, the
the bugs in the system.
yeah, bugs. Yeah, because they talk about bugs. And like that the computer kind of like it's supposed to be this symbolism for his brain. That's why there's goo there, and it's not working proper. I don't know, something like that.
It felt a bit unnecessary and
Yeah.
not entirely fleshed out.
Yes, it's
This
pretentious.
is one of
to be
those movies
pretentious.
that probably would have benefited from being slightly longer, actually,
A little longer, maybe. Yeah.
to add more of the depth into some of the scenes and issues or
Yeah.
plots, I guess.
And instead of just having like weird, cool things, like actually make it coherent.
Yeah.
Like with Mother, which is kind of weird that he started out, and we have to remember this is his first movie.
Sure.
I mean, well, still he was like he wasn't like a kid when he made it, so but still it was his first movie, and for a first movie, I mean, I shouldn't complain. And my first movie was 10,000 times worse than this, so it was so bad that we didn't even release it.
Well,
but I was 18 when I made it, so
yeah, and you didn't have a budget. He at least had, was it $60,000 or something?
$60,000, which is like, whew.
That's
Um,
that's, that's a lot to
that's a
make
lot
a
of money.
movie, to
That's
be
a lot of money.
honest, when it's
Yeah,
your first movie.
yeah. Um, but still, then he got better, and some would probably say that his magnum opus was Requiem for a Dream.
Mm.
And I agree. It's a better movie, and it's definitely more competently made. But then he made The Fountain, which is just it is. I think that is the one that balances his need to be like pretentious with a simple story that actually works, and beautiful a beautiful style. That movie is so beautiful. And
Yeah.
once again, telling a very simple story through very convoluted memes. I almost said memes. Because the
A
story
lot of memes in that one.
the story is basically, oh, love conquers all.
Yeah.
But that he needs to tell that through 4 different stories spanning 2,000 years. No, 1,000 years, like
Yes.
from 1500 to 2,500.
Right.
And you're like, do you really need to do that? But then when you watch it, like, it doesn't matter because this was beautiful.
Because it does have a lot of beautiful scenery and
So beautiful. Yeah.
costumes and all that.
Everything is magnificent about the costumes and set design and the CGI stuff, all the special effects.
Yeah.
And then it's just so there it works. And then you have, after that, he made The Wrestler, which was like going from the most ginormous, amazing like production down to one person, and the camera is literally in the neck of him all throughout the entire movie. And then he's slowly like moving towards bigger stuff with Black Swan and then Mother, but he's also getting, the movie's getting like dumber again.
Yeah.
Because Black Swan, while interesting, it's just like, yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
It's the duality of man or woman here. And then Mother is just like, yeah, it's the Bible. Okay, move on. So he's kind of like, he started out here, and then he grew to become more competent, and then he's just like regressed. And now he's back at where he started. Because there is a lot of similarity between Pi and Mother, and not in a good way.
Oh no.
So that's interesting. I never really thought of it like that, because yeah, I haven't really thought about Darren Aronofsky since 2017 because I didn't like Mother at all. But having seen all of his movies now, there is definitely, oh my god, there is definitely a pattern there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting though. I would have never watched it unless we got this request. So
that's part of it. I mean,
yeah.
not every movie can be great.
No.
Definitely, yeah, I probably never would have watched it because it's like, his first movie, I don't care. So
yeah,
I'm glad I watched it. One thing I didn't mention, and I wonder if that was an influence. It reminded me a lot of a Japanese movie that came out in 1989. So 11 years before. I wanted to say 10 years, but it wasn't. It was 11.
Called?
No, 9 years before. Called Tetsuo, the Iron Man. And it's also shot. I think this is 16mm. I think it's 16mm, very grainy, the picture's very contrasty. Everything is either like super overexposed or super black, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very similar with a man, almost like stuck inside of this machine. In Tetsuo, it's literally he's in a machine. He's becoming a machine, and here it's a computer.
Yeah.
But then and I mean there is correlation there between him, Tetsuo, and the person that, well, spoilers for Tetsuo, the man that
It's fine.
infects him with the machine parts, wants them to become like gods, because if you're a machine, you're indestructible. So together they can rule the world like gods. So there's a correlation there with
Yeah.
god stuff, and the style is very similar. That movie is very like hectic, and it's sweaty and disgusting, and
Sounds lovely.
oh, that's an amazing movie. That's pretension done made right. And we actually made a live stream about that before we did all the Spotify stuff, but it's on YouTube. So just search for "Please Don't Live Stream Tetsuo the Iron Man," and you'll find it. Me and Christopher did a talk about that. That is an amazing movie. That I would highly recommend. Watch that instead of Pi. No, but it is very similar. Like the style, like the style of the cinematography is very similar. So I would like to like hear if he was ever like inspired by Tetsuo. I don't know. It was the first thing I noticed because of the way the picture looked and the way they filmed it. Like, oh, it looks like Tetsuo.
Huh.
Yeah, cool movie. You should check it out. you are not going to like it, but
No, probably not.
you'll probably like this more because it's a body horror movie, you know.
Okay, that's better at least.
Oh, okay.
Slightly.
Do you like body horror?
Sometimes.
Like the body like breaking down. Have you seen The Fly, classic body horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more interesting than whatever this was.
Disgusting. Yeah, but it's very interesting when it's done well.
Yes.
Tetsuo is done well. So yeah, moral of the story: watch Tetsuo instead of Pi.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but to wrap it up, kind of, it's gonna be a shorter episode. But to wrap it up, it's not a terrible movie. It's a fine movie, and especially since it was his first movie made on a very low budget, you know, it's good, and it's nice to see that he's like kept his style. He never sold out, I guess, except for Noah. He never really like sold out and like, oh yeah, I'll make a Marvel movie, and it doesn't. Yeah, you can do all the animatics 3 years before I am hired as a director, so it's not my movie at all. You know, the movies he's made are definitely his movies, for better or worse.
Yes. I did find one thing that was funny with the trivia, though.
Oh?
This film was included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die.
Yes.
However, it was removed.
I know.
In 2015.
Because I have an older edition of that book, and it's in there, but then it was gone in a later edition.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put this in the 1001 movies you have to watch. Or I mean,
no.
If it's 1,000 movies, maybe.
No, pick another one of his movies.
Yeah, definitely. Pick The Wrestler. Honestly,
pick
The Wrestler. Or maybe The Fountain. But I think The Wrestler is a better. It's really a better movie, but The Fountain is my favorite. Anyway, yeah.
So maybe we're not the only ones who think this is a bit over pretentious.
No, it got pretty good reviews, right?
I haven't actually looked at the reviews yet.
But you have.
I got stuck on the trivias. Let's see.
I think it had like 70 something on Metacritic. Let's see. 72.
Yeah, there's a bunch of high scores, and someone actually calls it genius. So
yeah, it's a brilliant intellectual adventure that fans of bold independent filmmaking will
an excellent mathematical sci-fi thriller.
Sci-fi,
thriller, sure, I'll give it that.
Yeah, and
great stuff.
This is probably true from the AV Club. Aronofsky's ability to capture the Russian confusion of racing down a timeline toward infinity only to suddenly slam into a dead end makes for impressive and occasionally disturbing stuff. Yeah.
Sure,
I agree. And it's kind of fun. It has like 90, 90, 80, 75, 70, and then 30 from Chicago Reader. With this odd mixture of elements, the film's tone is gloomy, portentous, and hysterical, yet at the same time strangely earnest and square, as if David Lynch had tried to somehow make a movie version of Scientific American. Yeah, that's a good comparison. David Lynch makes very pretentious movies, but his movies they're honest. He doesn't try to be pretentious. It's just that David Lynch is weird.
Yeah.
So he makes weird things like, oh, he wants to show people driving in a car. Well, they're gonna be walking in a forest, but there's engine sound. No, you know.
Yeah.
Weird stuff like that, because he is strange. If you listen to him talk, if you listen to interviews, that's just the way he's wired. So his movies are going to be weird. Darren Aronofsky, the few times I have heard him talk, he's just like, I'm a guy,
He's a normal dude.
I make movies. But then he
So it
wants them
doesn't
to
fit
be,
in with it doesn't fit in with him as a person of why his movies are so odd, I guess, or
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
It would have worked better if he was a pretentious doofus.
Yeah, so it comes off as like a little bit, dishonest. And then when you see him, you're like, oh, right. He wants to be more weird than he is.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. But,
Someone who gave it 1 star out of 10 ended it with this line: "This movie resembled a high school jock that read a few columns in a magazine and is trying to impress the girls with it. Some of the girls will fall for it, no doubt."
Yes, like I said, an art house Transformers.
Yes.
So new segment. What would you give it on a scale of 10?
Honestly, it's a very low score. It's like a 2.
Really? No, like a 2.
I wasn't
a 2
entertained.
Is almost unwatchable.
I'm not gonna watch it again ever.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it. I don't see the point of it.
I guess I would give it a 5. It's
For
whatever.
what?
Because I did like the style. It is
I do like the style.
Yeah. It is an interesting premise that doesn't last the movie.
Yeah.
And okay, I give it a 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
I give it a 4. And it was the guy's first movie, so you gotta be a little lenient.
Sure, but well, I mean, he did do some shorts and stuff before that, so you have to have.
It's very different. It's very different to make a short and then make a feature length.
But I'm thinking of other directors we've seen, like their first movies.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be like prodigies. But
or just generally knowing how film works.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, I'm not saying he's horrible. No. Yeah, this movie is far beyond his greatest. It was probably the worst, considering what I've seen, at least.
No, I'd rather watch this than Mother again.
I haven't seen Mother yet, so we'll see. And I mean, he has 2 more coming up, so maybe they'll be worse. No, he's probably become better.
Yeah,
at least a bit.
Hopefully.
But I'm not gonna give it a lot. It's like 2.5, maybe, if I want to be nice.
Okay. That's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone watching this. If you're watching it on YouTube, thank you for watching. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, thank you so much for listening. Be sure, like we said before, follow us on Spotify, 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe and like on YouTube, hit the little bell, check out our Patreon page for a bunch of exclusive episodes.
And if you want to recommend a movie that we talk about next week, make sure you become a patron.
And give us more great movie picks. Thank you, Laura.
Broaden our horizons.
I'm kidding, Laura.
Well, broaden our horizons. Give us something to chew on.
It's always fun to watch. It's always fun to watch
Yes.
new movies. Because I usually end up watching the same movies over and over again. But this week I've watched a lot of new movies, including Pi, and that's fun. It's fun. So thank you so much, Laura, for giving us this recommendation.
Yes.
And keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
And that's gonna.
Yeah, we don't have a plan for next week yet, so
No, we don't have a plan. So if you have a plan, just go on Patreon.
yeah, let us know.
Let us know what you want us to talk about. But we'll see you next week. Either way, and also you can listen to the next exclusive episode on Sunday or Monday on
Patreon.
But that's gonna happen. Yeah. So until then, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.